Hey everyone, in this video we are going to solve one of the biggest RC headaches in catwalk, the difference between a fact, an inference, and an assumption. If you don't understand this clearly, you'll constantly think, but this could be true, and you'll keep marking trap options. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what an inference is and what it is not. Let's start with clear meanings. Fact. A fact is something directly stated in the passage. If you can underline the exact sentence in the passage, it's a fact. Inference. An inference is something not directly stated, but it must be true if all the statements in the passage are true. You reach it by logical reasoning, not imagination. Assumption. An assumption is something that the author has not stated, but is quietly relying on to make the argument work. If you remove the assumption, the argument becomes weaker or breaks down. For CAT RC questions, you are usually being tested on facts versus inferences. Assumptions are more common in critical reasoning, but the ideas overlap. When you're confused, use two quick tests. Fact test, underline test. Ask, can I underline this exact statement in the passage? If yes, it's a fact. If not, it's not a fact. Inference test must be true test. Ask, if everything in the passage is true, does this statement also have to be true? If yes, it's a valid inference. If it's just possible or likely, but not guaranteed, it's not a valid inference. Remember this line clearly. For CAT, a valid inference is something that cannot be false if the passage is true. Suppose the passage says, many urban residents now prefer using public transport instead of private cars because it is cheaper and more convenient. As a result, the city has seen a decline in traffic congestion over the last 5 years. Now, let's test some statements. Statement A. Urban residents prefer public transport because it is cheaper and more convenient. This is a fact. You can underline it directly in the passage. Statement B. Traffic congestion in the city is lower now than it was 5 years ago. Also a fact. Directly stated. Statement C. An increase in public transport usage has contributed to lower traffic congestion. This is an inference. It is not written word forward. But if the passage says more people are using public transport and congestion has declined, this must be true logically. Statement D. The city government has improved the quality of public transport in the last 5 years. This is an assumption or a guess. It is not stated, and it may or may not be true. The passage talks about people's preference, not about government actions. For CAT RC questions, Statement C is the kind of option that is a correct inference. Statement D is a classic trap. It sounds reasonable, but the passage never says it. CAT loves to do two things with inference questions. Make the option too strong. Passage. Many urban residents. Option. All urban residents now prefer public transport. Word all makes it too extreme. Reject. Make the option too vague or broad. Passage. Talks only about one city. Option. Public transport improves traffic conditions in all major cities. The option goes beyond the scope of the passage. Reject. Basic rule. A correct inference will be balanced, not stronger than the passage, not weaker or unrelated. When you see an inference question, run each option through this simple checklist. Is it consistent with the passage? It should not contradict anything stated. Is it fully supported? It should follow logically from what is given. If you need to add your own outside knowledge, reject it. Is it not extreme? Be careful with words like all, never, always, must, completely. CAT rarely uses such extremes in correct answers. Is it within the scope? If the passage talks about one country, one time period, or one group, don't generalize to the whole world. If an option fails any one of these, checks eliminate. Here's a simple drill you can do daily with any RC passage. After reading the passage, write down two facts and two possible inferences. Then ask yourself, can I underline this? If yes, it's a fact. Does this have to be true, or just could be true? Only the must be true ones are valid inferences. This habit will sharpen your brain to separate what is actually given from what your mind is adding. So to summarize, fact is equal to directly stated. Inference is equal to must be true if the passage is true. Assumption is equal to not stated, but needed to make the argument work. Avoid options that are too strong, too broad, or based on your own knowledge. In the exam, if you keep repeating one line in your head, "This must be true," not just possibly true, your inference accuracy will jump.